Hi everybody, welcome. This is Rob Provencher here from the Wizard of Light Academy, and I want to talk to you today about a very important topic, and that is, what does it take to succeed in business as a photographer? Sounds like a bit of a generic question. It's a topic that I have a lot of opinions on, a lot of thoughts, and that's why I'm bringing this to you, so I can share some of those opinions and thoughts and ideas. I've been running my own photography studio since a long time, since I was 24 years old, so that makes 30 years. It's overall been a very positive, very successful, very prosperous venture for me. And I want to, sort of distill all that and turn it into a few golden nuggets for you so that I can help you understand what I feel is important and what I feel is essential to being successful. Now, when you're looking at a photography business, the key word that I want to emphasize is business, not photography. Photography is important, and you can get a better sense of what I'm talking about when in my levels video, the other video, when I talk about the 3 levels. But I'm not going to go there right now because I already talked about that. But when you talk about business, know that photography, I'm not just saying business only, but it's an area that is often neglected. So I want to focus on that a little bit more. So the important thing is to know that in business, it's an area for many people, especially in photography, because so many people want to get into photography. They want to turn it into a business, but they haven't really the foggiest idea of what it takes. And I think therein lies the problem for many, many people. They get caught up in if I just get the right camera, if I get the right equipment, if I take nice pictures, the business will happen automatically. And it's really very, very naive. It's very, very low level, low grade thinking. When you look at business, you bring in a good product, which is your photography. You have a good business plan. And there's other areas too, which are hard to really specifically put into an academic form, but that is confidence. You really got to be bold. You got to be able to focus on your own vision. This is so important. And I think, again, many people get lost in that area, but when you're looking at your own vision, without listening to what your mom and dad have to say, without listening to what your friends have to say, really stepping outside of the boundaries and the box that you've contained yourself in, and trust me, we're all in a box. We build boxes all the time. You're not immune, I'm not immune. We all build these safety enclosures that, especially when you're starting out, it's harder because you have to go into unknown territories until they become known. So it really challenges you in many, many ways. And let me give you a small example for me. I really started to grow as a person, and therefore my business grew when I changed my life around when I was 31 years old. I joined Toastmasters, amazing experience. And I went into Toastmasters, which is a manual, and there's 10 chapters, 10 steps in the manual. And I thought, all right, I can do this. I was scared to death, by the way. But I really wanted to do it. And I thought, I can do this, I'll be done in a year, and then I'll quit. Well, it took me 2 years, and I stuck around for an additional 9. So I was in Toastmasters for 11 years, because I had so much fun. Now what happened was, it opened up new areas, new skill sets for me. And by the way, public speaking, photography, these are not talents. You may have in your DNA the ability or the possibility of having a talent, but until you put yourself in the right circumstances, those will not be triggered. Okay, so you have to kind of bring them out and develop the skill set side of all those things when it comes to confidence, when it comes to breaking through your neuroses, whatever they may be, whatever talents and skills that you want to master as a photographer, specifically to do with your photography business, you have to master those skills. Okay, they just don't happen naturally. So when you're looking at a business, you're looking at the person, and that's a big component. A business is a reflection of the individual. And I really feel strongly about that. So it's important that you know where you want to go. So goals are very, very important. 5-year goals, 1-year goals, monthly, weekly, daily goals. Okay, when I say daily, what you want to do is have a whiteboard. This is what I'm doing tomorrow. Have anything you want, but write it down. This is what I'm doing tomorrow. In our studio, we have a whiteboard. This is what we're doing tomorrow. We have weekly meetings. My wife and I sit down and we talk about our goals. Where are we going? This is important. You might think you're exclusive from this, but please, please listen to me. This is not an area to be taken lightly. This is so important because, again, the individual is a reflection of the business. The individual has their own vision, and it's that vision that's going to become a reality. Let it scare you to death. Let it require you to take bold steps to break away in order to challenge yourself, but in order to discover those new areas with which you grow into, and the business becomes this wonderful thing, you know, and it's amazing because it's your own creation, and there's prosperity that goes with that. While I'm on the topic of prosperity, a lot of people have issues with that. I've done a complete webinar on wealth and prosperity, and I talk about how a lot of people have issues when it comes to earning money, and we have to get beyond that. And that's just one example, that's just one component that I believe is essential to running a successful business, a successful photography business. How it ultimately looks is up to you. You have the freedom to do that. How it ultimately is branded is up to you. I'm not going to get into specifics on that, but I want you to understand that when you're developing your business, know that it requires a lot of bold steps, a lot of confidence building steps, and a lot of imagination. You know, it was Einstein who said that the greatest force in the universe is imagination. I truly, truly believe in that. So every time I do goals, and I've experienced this over and over and over again, I imagine them. This is where I want to be in 5 years. This is where I want to be next year, this year, next month. Where, you know, if you have an idea where you want to go in your mind, that's, something happens. You've heard it before. It's all about goal setting. So this is all a part of the reality of being in business, but don't lose track and don't lose focus of the essentials of business and marketing. Throw marketing in that mix too. Again, I say that because a lot of people get into photography and they get caught up in the magic of photography. It's just such a wonderful thing. And for some reason, they somehow think that there's this wonderful talent they have, they're born with. It's a God-given talent. And you don't want to go down that road. You want to be grounded. I don't care if you want to start a business and only earn an additional $1,000 to $2,000 a month, $500 a month. Follow the same strategies and build upon those strategies, what I'm talking about. So it may sound kind of philosophical, it may sound kind of vague, but I think it's very, very important. And what it takes to, when we're talking about the topic of what it takes to become a successful business person. By the way, you want to read a lot of stuff too. Stuff by Richard Branson and a lot of people who have established themselves and proven themselves in business. You know, you may not agree with their politics. You may not agree with Donald Trump, but he's got some really good points, and they're well worth reading. Read his books, get his DVDs and or videos, or sorry, CDs, audios. Listen, I'm constantly feeding my mind, constantly. We're either going backwards or we're going forward. So I believe that as a person, taking this holistic approach, kind of this Renaissance kind of approach, that as I year by year feed myself and constantly trying to improve myself in many different areas, it'll express itself in my business, and it maintains that momentum. It helps to maintain that momentum. New ideas, new ways to look at things, new ways to establish a better sense of self and sense of confidence. Do not expect this to happen overnight. I keep saying that to everybody, but this is important that you realize that this is a lifelong commitment. Not going to happen next month. You're making $50,000 a month. Not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. If it does, I actually pity you because you're somehow going to think that that's the way it works. Until reality comes in, you're going to be in la la land and dreaming. So constantly feeding your mind ideas, get your butt off the couch, turn the TV off, and get focused. And feed yourself and feed feed that imagination and get on track. All right? All right. Alrighty then. Thank you. Bye for now.